Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Ted, hanging out with these
Ryan.
nerds.
Dave. Cut you off.
That's all right. So today we have a GM 911 from Kendra, and she wants to know, do you kill a PC in hell?
If you guys have a GM 911 you want Nerdarchy to help you with, you can email us at nerdarchy@gmail.com, GM 911 in the subject line, or go to the forum.
All right, so Kendra has a PC who's being a basic jerk to the NPCs.
I think the proper term is raging butt face. I'm just kidding.
That could work. They're playing through Dante's Inferno, essentially being revised for D&D, and all the NPCs on this level are angry, literally 100%.
Belligerent, yeah.
And the player did some bad decisions, and they've ended the scenario with a fight about to break out.
Well, no. He had just, the player had just beat the innkeeper unconscious,
Right.
and now the innkeeper's friends are coming to look for him, and the idea is it's going to go badly for this person. Now, that being said, if you only beat him into unconsciousness, perhaps they only do the same to the player.
Although, and also too, if they didn't observe it, like if he does a good deception and like, oh, he tripped or whatever, and I'm helping him, so if he lies his ass off and gets out of the dodge,
just went that way.
Yeah, and if he gets out of the dodge, and in this way he can take the innkeeper's coin purse as well. Like, oh yeah. But anyway, so if he gets out of dodge before the innkeeper comes back to unconsciousness, because it's either a point of healing or you wake up and die 4 rounds when you're making your death saving throw, so maybe or die 4 hours. So maybe the innkeeper wakes up in D4 hours, and this way the players can be good and gone, because they're like, hey guys, I just did something that was not very bright. Because if the innkeeper wakes up before he leaves, then
Although the way they did this player's been described, he may go back to the inn and just start having beers or whatever and be like, yeah, I'm not leaving or doing anything.
Yeah, I'm staying for another couple days, and I think I'm going to teabag the innkeeper's wife as well.
So the option is the player uses deception, because he said at the end of last session that he was not going to try and stealth away. Yeah. So the group is going to come up upon him and see the scene. So he has the option of using persuasion, deception, trying to convince them that
it's deception because it's a bold ass lie. It's really deception.
You're correct.
Yeah.
So he uses deception to try and get out of it. They can have a fight, and
what happens.
What happens. They can either kill him or not. If they see that the innkeeper is unconscious, they might just beat him to unconsciousness and help their friend.
And maybe cut his balls off.
Maybe help them. Maybe help themselves to whatever possessions he might have.
This could be an interesting session. They beat him to unconsciousness and start torturing him, and rough. It is hell after all, right?
Yeah.
Roughing him up. Well, so now the other players have a dilemma of, do they just leave without him, or do they try and rescue the player?
Yeah.
Now, if you as the DM choose to go the route of killing the player, you had said in your email that you felt it's with it being in hell that it's not easy to be able to insert a new character.
One minor thing with the maybe beating the character into unconsciousness too, again with using that sort of the death saving throw rules of the waking up in then D4 hours, that gives the players D4 hours to not have to deal with this player's shit, and the other players could just drag him out of there and leave basically against his will because he's unconscious. They could just drag him along.
Right. And
so this way, it at least maybe you can get out of that layer or away from the town of this layer to not have to deal with this player making bad decisions right there.
Yeah.
So now we'll get back into this discussion of introducing new players. If the worst happens and he's just dead.
As a DM, I say there's never a time where you can't insert a new player character. They could be a prisoner. They could just be wandering by. I don't care whether you're in big bad villain stronghold in hell. Go for it.
You got the players there. That means someone else can get there.
Yeah. Right? If they got there somehow, someone else can also have gotten there somehow. Yeah.
It may not be common. It can be another unique occurrence, and it can be very rare.
A teleport spell gone horribly awry, a magic item malfunctioning, any sort of thing could land you in hell. Who knows? Yeah.
So why make it tougher on yourself as the GM because you've come up with like some kind of story idea that you're so inflexible and unwilling to bend on, and if it's causing grief, like if it's causing a problem for you, just chuck it,
Absolutely,
and go on with the game.
Yeah.
Unless you really don't want this player to be around anymore, and you really want to chuck the player out of your game.
If that's the thing, if you say, okay, well, I'm hard fast on this line because this player is presenting a problem not only for you but the other players at the table, then here's the perfect way to say, all right, you're dead, you're out. Maybe you should think more about
send them a nice Dear John letter.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a good excuse to kick the player out of your game, but if that's not the thing that you want to happen, put him in, like, one of the cages, like we have that skeleton thing hanging out in the background. Like, maybe he's in, like, one of those cages, and somebody's, like, poking him, like, the new character's in one of these cages that somebody's poking him with sticks or throwing rocks at them because wrathful people in hell, like, maybe children are doing that because they're bored. Like, this is hell, after all, and it's wrath. So that could be a way to bring a player in where, like, they've just been tormenting this person that stumbled into hell or, along this journey like the players are, and maybe didn't have the guides of Dante and Virgil.
Right.
So, yeah, that's a thing.
So I think we presented some viable options for Kendra. Any final thoughts, guys?
No, I mean, that wraps it up. Be flexible. Yes, you can probably introduce other characters if you really want to. Decide if you want this player in your game or not, because this sounds somewhat problematic. Possibly think about having a discussion. We didn't say this one, but I'll say it right now. Think about having a discussion with that player and find out what their deal is, but before you just kick them. And, unconscious, there's a couple of ways you can go with it. So, you guys let us know in the comments below while you're at it. Like, share, and subscribe.
You can check out the articles over on nerdarchy.com.
Or you can check us out over on Instagram.
So until next time, stay nerdy.